good hello to the people of the world who are listening or aren't listening. If you're not listening, fuck you. If you are listening, you're beautiful. Anyway, this is the 2 Cent Report with me, a person, 1 Cent Justin, aka LC Lupus, and I am joined by a different person whose name is...
What do you mean a different person? I'm the same person. It's
No, I mean different person to me. You're different to me.
You only care about yourself. I get it. Okay. Hi, folks. 1 Cent Tristan here. How are you doing? I don't care because apparently I'm not needed anymore. I'm just another person in this man's eyes. But really, I do evaluate how you are. Listen to that. How are you doing? Put it down in the comments. Let us know if you're listening. Even if you just put like a full stop and then post it. That's more than we ever get.
Yeah, but if you don't listen, then don't leave a comment, which I think that's the main thing. We have about 7 billion non-viewers, so they don't have to leave any comments. Sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds good to me. I mean, like, out of all of it, we won't shame you for watching our videos and not subscribing because we already know that not even the people subscribe watch these videos. A little bit better?
because that is how high quality our hashtag content is. It's beautiful. And eventually we'll have merchandise.
So underground, we're subterranean.
Exactly. That's how cool we are. We have to be one of those people when someone's, some hipsters like, oh yeah, I listen to like the 2 Cent Report, and people go, what's that? And you go, you wouldn't understand.
I mean,
that's our target market.
Not even those guys know who we are, but yeah, let's go with that. I blame my marketing
are you
side.
good? I will blame your marketing side. And so how are you, good sir?
I'm alright, can't complain. Had a good gap between the last podcast. Really nice. And you?
Yeah, it's been pretty fine. I'm just tired. But that's normal, so it's fine. 'Tis the way. Also, later on the show, we will be living up to our other name, the Acquisitions Cast, because there is one coming up, and it's actually an interesting one. So that's always nice.
Okay, because you got me there. Because when you're like, we'll be living up to our other name, I was like, we already are living up to our other name. We're the Poverty Cast, and then you're like, oh yeah,
that's our other name. We're too poor to afford the copyright on it, but
ironically
it's fine. but if you could afford a copyright, can you be the Poverty Cast?
No, exactly. So
really, we're authentic.
Can't even afford people to pay attention to us. So
exactly. That's how you know that you're doing it well. We're doing poverty great because no one listens to us and we have no money, so it's pretty good. We're great. So then, should we jump into the news? The first story is kind of hilarious.
All right.
So, our old friend, the Epic Games Store, has just now unveiled something that no other company in gaming has ever done. They now have an achievement system.
An achievement system?
Yes.
Like as in...
No one else. PlayStation hasn't done it since 2007. Xbox hasn't done it since 2006. And Steam hasn't done it for however fucking long Steam has done it. Uplay, also, they don't have achievements.
I mean, like, that's kind of cool that they're implementing it, but like, yeah. Woo.
I absolutely love whenever they implement shit. Like, I also loved when there was news, this was like ages ago though, when they were like, by the way, we now have a cart system. You can buy more than one game at a time.
Yeah,
and
they still haven't actually
and everyone's like,
fixed their launcher, but sure, let's add achievements, let's add a card system, let's add a download thing that takes forever to download anything and uses almost your entirety of your processing to do so. But yeah,
I know,
achievements.
it's hectic.
What's next?
So-
Are they going to add two-step authentication?
Justin, you're thinking too far ahead.
wait.
Come now.
Do they have profile pictures? I haven't been on Epic Store in a long time. Do they
don't
have
think
an
so.
about? So you can tell people
I
who
don't
you
think
are?
so. No, not that I know
Okay.
of.
Okay.
Also, something that pisses me off. You don't seem to be able. You know, the thing that we all do because we like organizing our things to put our games into categories
Mm-hmm.
that we decide. Yeah, you can't do that on Epic either. So
No. But that's too mainstream.
that is too mainstream. No, we want to just have everything in just one fucking
Yeah.
row.
You get two choices: relevance or alphabetically. And you know, if you
Yes.
can't deal with that, you're too mainstream for this platform.
Exactly.
Maybe instead of I'm just gonna make a suggestion here. It would be really stupid of them if they ever thought about, instead of putting money into releasing free games, pay their staff or a developer to make their app better. But that would be fucking ludicrous. I mean, hello, it's 2021. We're not living in the past. No one needs that kind of attention when they're trying to make big bucks.
I don't like you coming in here with your communist talking points, Tristan, about paying people to do jobs. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's stupid to think that paying somebody to do a job is what's a standard. I'd rather pay for people to have free my clients to have free shit and not pay me. So yeah, that's pretty ballsy in this day and age to read something as so controversial as giving people achievements, rewarding them for efforts, allowing them to reconsider their choice in launcher in store, because you can't get their achievements elsewhere. So if you're an achievement hunter, you can only get it on their store, which means that you only have to wait until they release the game for free to get it.
Tristan. Clearly, you're not a real gamer.
No, of course not.
Because real gamers use the Epic Game Store.
Yeah, I'm what you call a social gamer. Only game when people talk about the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Honestly. Anyway, would you like some more funny news?
Oh yes, please.
So Amazon has released its game. Its first game, I think. That MMO, which I believe came out a while back and then they pulled again. Anyway, it's an MMO, New World. Now, there's nothing special about that. It's an MMO. They're a bit late to the whole MMO game. There was a rush to do MMOs in the late 2000s. So they're only about a decade late. But it's fine. It's Amazon. They'll get there. However, the great thing, this is the thing that sort of made the news because the game is completely generic and no one gives a shit. However, in the character creation system, you cannot name yourself Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
It just goes, no.
Okay, I mean, I'm not too worried about that. I mean, it is funny, but there are other words to call him. But yeah, sure. Not naming. I mean, I get it. There can only be one. Even digitally, there can only be one. Yeah, fair enough. So
Exactly.
I'm quickly just gonna go hop onto WoW quickly and make myself a Jeff Bezos, because they're getting my money at the end of the day, not Amazon.
But yeah, it's just a stupid little thing, but it's still funny. Because it's just one of those little things where you're like, why do you care? Why can't people just call themselves Jeff Bezos? Just let people do what they want. No one cares.
First,
it's fine.
It always starts out somebody naming themselves after you, and the next thing you know, you got devil horns on all your posters, Justin. This is what starts it.
And you... You have devil horns everywhere and you can't get laid because whenever people Google you...
I mean, he's a free man. No wife. He's good to go. He's the richest man in the world. So, devil horns will just ruin everything. So would hair, apparently. I'm probably going to get killed next week, guys. I mean, not that this will ever be heard by somebody who works for Amazon, or Jeff Bezos himself, but you know how things travel. Mm-hmm.
Next week, we'll be introducing our new host to replace the soon-to-be deceased
I'll look up my window
Tristan.
for DHL packages.
It'll just be a rock. It contributes about as much.
Actually, I would love to be replaced by Dwayne. That would be awesome. I'm just thinking about that now. That would be awesome. But then I still receive commission because he is using the 1 cent
True.
that is mine.
Yeah. No, that is very, very true. But anyway, moving on from Jeff Bezos, onto, okay, this is also one of those stories that is utterly meaningless, but it's still funny. So, Randy Pitchford is leaving Gearbox Software.
Mm-hmm.
He will no longer be the CEO and will be replaced by some guy called Steve Jones, which sounds like a fake name. Randy Pitchford now obviously is leaving Gearbox behind forever to become the CEO of Gearbox Entertainment Company, which is the parent company of Gearbox Software. So he's just moved up a little bit. He's still the president.
I did see that on LinkedIn, believe it or not. So yeah, that's
Really?
I mean, I think I'm on LinkedIn more than you, so no surprise there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it's just shifting seats so that they can avoid some sort of unfair bonus to someone's pay. They just next thing is going to be the executive CEO so that he can get a little bit more cash while justifying slave labor.
This is slavery. How dare you imply that Gearbox doesn't pay its workers? Like the news stories that said so.
Yeah, Gearbox.
Oh god, I don't like Bobby Kotick. He's all such a little fucking creeper. With this fucking squirting porn.
Okay, wait.
A magic trick.
Wait. I mean, like, anyway, so let's rather move away from the squirt tapping guy and let's go back to what? Steve Jones.
Steve Jones.
Another name for John Doe.
Pretty much, yeah. That sounds like the name when you get to the motel and you write your name, the person looks at it and they go, "Can I have your real name?" And you're like that.
You just look confused. Like for me, it's like, Steve Jones, and you walk in and it's Agent 47. You're like, fuck.
It's like calling your child John Smith. It's just evil.
I did have a family member that had several Johns in their name. So far, like his name, his middle name, and his surname. So I'm not going to mention anymore. But yeah, it is possible.
You know what?
I mean, there is a Philip Phillips.
There's a character in Catch-22 whose name is Major Major Major,
Mm-hmm.
and then he goes to the military and he gets to the rank of Major. So throughout the book, whenever it refers to him, it just says Major 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 Major. Every time he comes.
Oh, the quad M.
The quad. Oh. Anyway, so yeah, that's the and the way I wrote it in our little show notes is Gearbox has new CEO, but not really.
No, but it's not. It's just moving yourself from one seat to another, but with a nice sweet bonus and an increase and a raise. I mean, the funny thing is that kind of position shifting is so common, like especially when you get to the more illegal stuff where somebody is. I mean, like, let's take a look at Casino, the movie, right? I mean, he just shifts his positions around, but he runs the casino anyway. I mean, it's just to stay out of trouble.
Yeah. What he'd be like, managing director of operations, and then he would then be floor manager, and then he would be. Yeah, no, it's clever, and Bobby's a fucking little.
Yeah, but it's easy to tell because wherever he goes, it's just like a trail of wetness where he spouts off magic.
It's a magic trick. Leave me alone.
Where are you going? I'm gonna go watch a magic show. Well done.
Bobby. Not Bobby.
I mean, his name is Robert.
Yeah, Robert. But, yeah.
So, moving on.
These people. Anyway, the next thing. This is just... It's just this company that's like randomly come up out of nowhere and it's proclaiming to be like a great little thing. It's called Digital Matters. And they've basically just popped up. They're a UK publisher. And they haven't said as much, but basically they came up and they went, we believe that indies deserve to get, when it comes to, marketing and everything, indies deserve the AAA treatment. We want to be a publisher for indies. And I'm sure somewhere off in the corner, Devolver Digital is sitting there being like, really? You even took one of the words in our name, digital? Okay.
I don't know if anybody should tell them, but you can't be an indie and a AAA game studio. There's a fine line between you can have AAA quality. Yes, you can have an indie game that comes out looking fantastic, but in order to have a indie game, you need to have, a AAA game, you need to have AAA staff. This means offices of literally 30 people dedicated to one part of the game. So it kind of, it's like being,
I think,
I don't know, like a peasant, a peasant and royalty at the same time, and you'd be like, yeah.
Well, I think the thing that they're saying, because they're just going to be a publisher, they're not going to be like funding people. So I think their main thing was they're saying, we believe indies should get like AAA level of marketing treatment. Not necessarily anything else. It's just the marketing side, the publishing side, not the actual, costs.
Okay, well, that's good, because I'm hoping that, they're not just doing this to bleed the indies dry of money through marketing, because marketing is very important, but it's also fucking expensive.
It's fucking expensive. It can often be more than development costs, so yeah. Not great.
Sorry, my mind just went back to that mobile advert with the elephant pole dancing. And then the guy gets kicked off to the island, and then he starts building a civilization on the island. You're like, what the fuck?
So,
marketing.
The next thing is interesting. This is our acquisition for the day. We only have the one. Are you familiar with Night School Studio?
Nope.
Do you know the game Oxenfree?
Nope.
Have you ever heard of it?
I'm pretty sure it's part of a saying to get people to come out of hiding while playing hide and seek.
Yes. No, but I mean the video game.
No, not at all.
It's a it's a really nice game. I played it quite a long while back. Oxenfree 2 is supposed to be coming out sometime, and it's quite... It's Oxenfree sort of has that vibe of Twin Peaksy kind of, they go to like a strange island where weird shit happens, but it's like a little town.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like no one there. And it's just these like teenagers that are going together. Although I think they're more like college kids, but yeah. And it's all about like there's ghosts there, and the ghost. It's a very narrative focused sort of puzzly kind of game.
You telling me that teens go to a deserted island and there's no fornication, none whatsoever?
I think they're supposed to just be friends. Sadly.
You can't even get friends outside of the house without there being a hint at fornication.
Well, anyway, they made that. They also made that. I don't know if you knew about this. Do you know Mr. Robot?
Yes.
The series.
Yes.
There was a mobile game for Mr. Robot that was like critically acclaimed. I never played it, but it sounded really, really cool. And then I forgot about its existence. But they made like that. So they're like this little indie studio. So that's part one of this. So now Night School Studio, they're like an indie team, but they make really good quality stuff. Cool. Now, also how there's all these companies that are now deciding they're not game companies, but they're like, we're going to get into game development.
Like Amazon and Netflix.
We're like Amazon and Netflix and Google. So, and then generally what these companies do, they're like, we're going to start a game division.
Yes.
What do?
We find the most popular trend and recreate it.
Guys, what do we do? So that's mostly what they do. However, one of those companies decided to rather not be stupid and rather just acquire a studio that actually knows what it's doing. And Netflix has decided to do that. They bought up Night School Studio, and it's part of their whole attempt to integrate Netflix into gaming. So, should be something interesting, potentially. It depends on how much control they try to exert, but I do know that Netflix often kind of just lets its people do their thing. They're just sort of like, yeah, that sounds interesting, do it. We'll throw as much shit against the wall as we can to see what sticks. Mm-hmm. So hopefully this is a good thing. But yeah, so they've actually acquired a proper indie studio, and they're just going to basically give them money to make games for Netflix.
I mean, that's a lot smarter, but because it's a big problem is that a lot of these studios, they don't have, a lot of these companies that want to make a game to try and break into the market, they don't have a good idea. They're just trying to make a game that will sell. Like, if you have nobody with I wouldn't even say a good idea, just an understanding of they want to make a game and they have a feeling it wants to be this game, just direct, just drive. I mean, a lot of the games that fail in this industry now are just generic or copycats that are coming out based on gameplay mechanics rather than actual meaningful, I won't say story, but like an idea, something that's been bred as an idea and been made into a game. Like one of the most successful games are those that come from other media like books. Those games are the most successful, even if they don't embody the full story of the game, or just like from another franchise, from a movie. It comes off of an idea. But when you're just like, hey, make me a game that's popular, and yeah, so Netflix probably understood that and realized they need people with that actually know what they want, not so much know how to make a game, but know that I'm trying to say, know what it means to make a game rather than just making it for money, making it for making an idea into a game rather than just putting together popular trends and mechanics to form a product that hopefully will sell well when it doesn't. I'm not too sure I'm that confident in Netflix when it comes to games, so long as they don't mess around with other content and make a game out of it. Yeah,
well, we have to see what they do, but I'm kind of but one good thing, which might be an indication of what they're going to do, because Night School Studio does have a track record with being able to produce a tie-in game that was very high quality, because they made that Mr. Robot game, which was critically acclaimed. So maybe they'll be making licensed things based on Netflix properties, but people who are actually competent at doing that.
They kind of missed they missed their chance at making The Witcher. Or Dynasty Warriors. What else is on there that's a Netflix original? That's also based off a game. I mean, they do have their Castlevania. I believe that's the original. So they missed that.
Castlevania is actually quite great. The first season was shit, but the rest of it's actually really good.
They also have that.
I was surprised.
Wait. Was it League of Legends series?
Yes. Yeah, they have a partnership with Riot. But I watched one of the League of Legends things. Not it wasn't anything based on the thing. Was a documentary about League of Legends, because I was very like, I don't really know anything about League of Legends. Maybe I should know a little bit.
You don't.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was very boring. But,
wait, don't they also have Monster Hunter as one of their own? I believe they also have...
No.
Or is that just one that they put onto their platform?
Yeah, no, they just put it on there. Monster Hunter was like it was in theaters, so...
okay.
Wouldn't have been Netflix.
It's interesting to think of them like that, but if they're just going for the start of trying to turn their own IPs into games, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I guess. Are they going to turn their platform into an online platform? I mean, it would be cool with Netflix to do something similar to their failed Google idea, where they host everything on their own server. So people, you go into Netflix on your phone, you go into Netflix on your browser. You don't necessarily even need the app. You just go into Netflix, you log into your account, and there's games available, and you can just stream the game. But again, I think it's going to be kind of weird thinking about, would you, because I know Netflix, its whole idea is you pay a subscription and you get all their content that is available in your region. And yes, you can use a VPN to travel regions, but with a game, it's similar to, how are they just going to release games and then it's just going to be free to play with anybody with an upgraded account? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, well, actually, their thing is going to be anyone with a Netflix account can play the games. You already are, you're already in, basically. So, seeing as, you and
Netflix and chill now. Too many options.
But this also means that, I suppose, when it comes out, we've got Netflix, so...
Yeah.
Just give it a try. It's free anyway.
Yeah.
It's not going to cost anything extra. So... when they do eventually release a game, I'll try it out. I mean, I tried out the Apple Arcade games because I was given the subscription service for free. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just play some of these. Mobile games really aren't for me. I get quite bored. But anyway. However, we do have a little bit more Netflix news.
Yes.
Because Netflix decided to do its own little event thing. Everyone now has to have their own event. Every company has to have their own event where they're like, we're going to show, it's like E3, kind of thing. We have to show off our things that we're doing. And they went hard on The Witcher, being like, Season 2 is coming out, and there's going to be a mini-series, and there's also going to be another animated movie. And this is the thing that I focused on, as being okay, The Witcher, right? You know The Witcher.
Yes.
Geralt, it's all about murdering monsters, and there's sex and political intrigue, and curses are caused by shit like incest and, betraying your brother and all sorts of really dark stuff.
I was literally playing it just before we started recording, yes.
Which one? Which one? Okay. Well, Netflix has announced, all of you, the dark, brutal world of The Witcher. Wouldn't you love it if your kids could watch it too? So we're going to have a fun, kid-oriented spin-off that is for kids.
Of The Witcher.
Of The Witcher.
The very thing, whenever you get a mission about somebody lost in the wood, they're going to be dead. Yeah.
Or if they're not dead, they're turned into something. And now you have to kill them.
And the hatred towards witches in general, and the just disgustingness of that time. The wars.
So I don't know what part of the world you can really make kid friendly. It would be the equivalent, I suppose, of being Rockstar, just being we know that you've all really enjoyed our Grand Theft Auto games, but we're now going to release a kid friendly toddler car theft auto.
Where babies steal big wheels.
Exactly. So yeah,
I think
it's just
maybe if they
strange.
do a series on a couple of kids that are forced into Witcher training and just showing their antics and their ongoings of their daily Witcher training tasks. Maybe it could be Dora the Explorer Monster Edition. I don't know.
Except that the training that they go through is giving them poison, so they almost most of them die, and then throwing them in the woods and being survive.
Yeah, but that
is Witcher training.
But the thing is, it's probably going to be taking place before they take on the mutation, the prepping phase. They all get to know each other, form happy friendship bonds, and then the series ends, and it's oh, by the way, there's a little bit of add to the canon. They all died.
So but they only say that about 10 years later, so the kids who did watch it growing up get to be what happened to all of those things? And they read up that there was actually some small comic release of like the continuation where they all brutally get murdered, and you're like, wow, that was my childhood.
Imagine CD Projekt Red had to release another Witcher game where they've now viewed this kid-friendly series and like they added like an Easter egg, just like there's the dead kids. not in our universe, not in our version of the Witcher.
So that's just something kind of weird, but yeah, all the other stuff is things you'd expect. Oh, there's going to be season 2 and other stuff. By the way, have you watched that? There's an sort of, I suppose, anime-inspired animated Witcher film.
No.
It's actually pretty good. I watched it the other day. It's about what's his name? Vesemir.
Yes.
The guy who trained Geralt. Yes. It's about how he became a Witcher.
Oh, okay. And what platform did you watch this on?
It's Netflix.
So you're watching Netflix, right? And you still haven't watched Dynasty Warriors?
No, I just watched Squid Game.
So you're watching other things on Netflix. I see. You go watch your Korean anti-game shows, and you go watch your animated witches.
I will watch Dynasty Warriors. I've been meaning to. I sometimes forget it's there. But also, just by the way, I think that you would enjoy Squid Game if you haven't seen it, because it kind of feels like a live action
I have
anime.
seen the popular parody of it.
I don't know. There is a popular parody. So.
Yeah, no.
And what is that?
Squid Game.
Squid Game. Oh, yes. Randy Pitchford's thing. It was Randy Pitchford's small release. Personal release on his own time. But it wasn't very good.
Are you kidding me? Sure. Riveting stuff.
It is riveting. Back and forth, you know.
More like up and down, but yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, there's many ways you can do it, but it's fine. You do you, Tristan. I mean, if you want to, you don't have to do.
I was waiting for that. Okay, so let's get back on track here. What's next?
Okay, so the next thing, it's kind of it's sort of a nothing, but it's still a something. So, Blizzard had like one of their big Overwatch tournament things, and then they showed off some Overwatch 2. So it turns out they are actually developing it. Mm-hmm. And there's just some changes that I don't understand. Like, I'm reading this stuff and it's like, yes, this character's manual hack will have a shorter cooldown. And I'm like, cool. I don't play this game. So I don't... But yeah, it's pretty much... Overwatch 2 has been sort of debuted now. So
I mean, it was technically debuted, and then it became like Overwatch 1.2, and now they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're still working on that thing. I mean, we just got some things to sort out inside our office, but don't worry, your game's coming out.
Yeah. Anyway. So, we can just move straight on from Blizzard news to Activision-Blizzard news. So, we're back to our good old friends. So, another federal agency, this one is the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, sued them, which is always fun. Sued them because basically it refused to, be a good company and care about its own employees. It was, things about like gender-based discrimination, harassment, that kind of stuff. All the stuff we already know, but this is now another agency that's, going after them. And so Activision Blizzard decided to do the thing that you always do when you're not guilty, and that's settle it out of court. Mm-hmm. So that they don't have to go to court over this. And they just paid a nice little $18 million to make this go away.
Justin, we should totally sue Blizzard. Like, I'm thinking now, we should totally sue them as a media outlet.
Okay.
On the grounds of whatever we can make on the grounds of, and then get a cool 80 million.
It would be nice to get a cool 80 million.
And then it won't be the poverty cost anymore. I know it's a title I'm willing to drop, but we'll have 80 million. Well, 40 million if you split it.
Or we can do that thing where we pretend to still be poor. And so we're like, yes, we are the poverty cast, but we like do that thing where we're wearing clothes that look like poor people clothes, like a Mark Zuckerberg. And then it turns out that shirt is actually like $500.
No, fuck that. I would still. I'm not a material person. Anything that material that is expensive for me is my computer, and like if I have a house that meets my basic needs, a car that gets me from point A to point B that doesn't cause any problems, I'm happy. So all my money will be spent on digital things.
I think to me, I'd be like, well, first off, I would have an amazing PC, obviously. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think to me, I'd be like, I would have, first of all, yes, an amazing computer. That would be my main thing. However, I would want to get a really good stove.
Oh, my kitchen is going to be kitted out. I'm telling you now. Whoo, you can move out of the bushland and you come back to society. Never have to worry about working again. I mean, we're talking about a cool 40 mil each. I mean, 40 mil in our, very depreciated rand is still a lifetime's worth of relaxation and splurging. Like, I'm talking about going overseas, enjoying your life. Definitely, there's only so much food you can actually eat. So I wouldn't buy the expensive stuff because I always want to eat. Funny enough, whenever I want to go overseas, I always want to eat poor people food. I want to.
Because
it's delicious.
Usually because poor people food is nice, because then you get that weird shit where you're like, oh yeah, you can get this pizza with like gold flake.
It's nothing.
And you're like...
Nothing to it. Why would I want to eat gold? Because I'm pretentious.
Yeah. No, I'm just
like... I might as well just eat
it's 1,000...
and shit out gold.
No, it's... it's $1,000 pizza. And I'm just like... I would rather just have some slop chips.
Oh, you're speaking to my stomach now. No, I fully agree. I don't understand it, and I think obviously, if I get a 40 mil into my bank account, first thing is SARS is going to jump on me to find out where this came from, and then after they've done their tax deductions and whatnot, if it's not tax deductible, if I have to move out of the country, I will. I'm just saying, but I'm hoping that I would just get more of the same clothes, instead of just getting fancy rich clothes, because I'm not a fashionable person. I don't understand fashion trends. I wear clothes that are comfortable and that I like. So I get a lot of shirts, a lot of shorts, lots and lots of sandals, or as I like to call them, flip-flops. Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were going to come up with like some personal thing you say, because flip-flops are just another way of saying it. I thought you were going to be like, or as I call them, foot boaties.
Oh no, I call them pluckies. That's my colloquial term for them, pluckies. Because when you walk, they go pluck, 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 pluck.
Well, I mean, Nina calls mine boats because she has tiny little feet in comparison to me. So
I've got tiny feet in comparison to you, fucking hobbit. But you're tall, so I can't call you a hobbit. But your feet are hairy, so I can't call you a hobbit. I'm so conflicted here.
I also once had a ring that I threw into a volcano.
What, like a macabre?
And I tried to jump on a bird.
A macabre volcano,
No, how dare you? No.
Because you got no volcanoes in South Africa that I know of.
No. Yes, we do.
Where?
You take Coke, and then you put Mentos in the Coke. And then you have a Coke volcano.
Uh-huh. And whose ring did you pop in there?
I don't know, some guys.
Some loser, you wouldn't even know him. Okay, fair enough.
Anyway. The next thing, this got really, really big, and this is very, very recent news, so there might be more about this next time. But Twitch got hacked. And quite hectic. I don't know if you heard anything about this?
No, I don't pay attention to Twitch.
Okay, so Twitch got hacked, and kind of bad because basically they got the source code and the payout information of various streamers, so they like showed how much various people earned, and also things like passwords and stuff were leaked. So yeah, this was just uploaded randomly to 4chan.
Of course.
And everything to do with 4chan is always great. So they say
wait,
here...
I think I have heard about this because I believe that people are expecting the IRS to come down on how much American Twitch streamers are actually earning. Because it's all online. Like, there's no tax deductibles. I mean, you go in, you pull it out, and that's that. It's undeclared. I mean, most of these people probably don't even know how to do tax, but can afford an accountant. So...
Yeah. Well, no, I haven't seen anything about that, but that's possible. You never know. But it's a lot of things about passwords, so they're telling people to please go and change your passwords.
Two-step authentication.
And then, lots of things like basically their mobile, desktop, and client and console clients, their proprietary SDKs and internal AWS services, internal red teaming security tools, other Twitch-owned properties, also some of the stuff that was part of the Amazon Game Studios project that got leaked as part of this, as well as this is part of this, a project codenamed Vapor, which is described as an unreleased Steam competitor. So,
you're fucking kidding me. Vapor. Oh...
To be fair, a lot of these code names are like random ass shit, and then it ends up having another name.
Yeah, but
later.
Like, why? Why would you want to compete with Steam? Epic is already trying, and look at them. They just add achievements now. So like instead of investing in your own game store, just use the other one. Yeah, sure, you're not getting as much money, but feed your staff at least. Jesus.
And by the way, I am currently in a triangular position with cats. There's 2 cats on my desk and a dog behind me. And someone farted. So, I don't know which one. But one of these little bastards decided to try and gas me in my own home.
I know where you're going with this, but let's keep it civilized.
So, we're actually already at the last story.
Really?
Yep.
Sure. Nothing really happened, eh?
No, there wasn't that much of like really interest.
I'm gonna have to think up a rant now. Oh fuck.
Well, this is something kind of interesting. The final one, I left this to the end because it's always nice to leave a, interesting thing. So China. Wonderful country. Last time we spoke about how they started adding a bunch of restrictions onto games. Of playing time, and then immediately like Tencent and ByteDance's value like plummeted. But they have now warned developers about, because also I think over the course of, it was like the whole September period, not a single game was cleared, because games have to go through the government before they're allowed to be publicly released.
Yes.
And not a single game managed to make it through. They've now sort of started clamping down. They say that Chinese regulators are reportedly clamping down on how morality, gender, and history are depicted in video games.
Oh, so they're basically trying to regulate that as well, trying to have a control on what gets sent to the public.
Yeah.
You know what's great about China is they make it so much more easier for people to not want to live there that eventually, you can force them in, but even fucking North Korea has people risking their lives to get out. The problem with North Korea is that there's only 2 ways out by land, and that's through China or South Korea. China, however, has got quite a bit of surface area to run away to. And, they could do it. Sure, they're going to take this and this because they want to have utmost control to what their population thinks and knows about the outside world. So fine, let them do that. That's cool, because at the end of the day, it's going to be like that East and West Berlin thing, where when the more poorer side or the side with less is shown a side with more, they're just gonna fuck off over to that side as best as they can. So they're more than welcome to try and plug the holes and regulate everything and keep people under watch. But I think the whole communist China thing is working well for them. I mean, everybody will tell you that they love their government.
Well, what they say here, because there was a leaked memo reminding developers, things like any games that encourage violence, gambling, or superstitions probably won't be approved. And this is direct quote: "Some games have blurred moral boundaries. Players can choose to be either good or evil, but we don't think that games should give players this choice. And this must be altered."
Because everybody must be the same.
Another quote. And then another quote: "If regulators can't tell the character's gender immediately, the setting of the characters could be considered problematic and red flags will be raised." So, they say here anyone if it has effeminate males, it will be flagged.
So they're just going to ban everything from Japan. Just no. Japan and South Korea. No. Stop it.
And then they say here also, they warn them about incorporating historical characters, maps, and clothing from historical things, and this is the exact thing. "Games can't distort facts or deliberately provoke controversy, and historical figures with established narratives must not be refashioned."
So Total War Three Kingdoms is out.
Yeah, so no looking at history.
Dynasty Warriors is also out because that's based in China. Funny enough,
and it's definitely not real.
Yeah. I think also Putt is banned there. Then I think it's unrealistic for a car to go to the moon.
It is. But we can't have such subversive characters as a talking car.
They're just making it boring, and people are gonna want more. I mean, once they find out that there is more, which I'm guessing what they're trying to do is stop people from finding out that they can think outside of what they've been forced to think. And if that's what they want to play at, that's what they want to play at. I, for one, will still say that good for them. They can do whatever they want, but eventually the people are going to find out.
Yeah, well, have to just see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of all the news.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to share? Any interesting things that you've stumbled upon? Any games? I know you're in the midst of preparing for your big video, and you've been playing quite a few games.
Yeah. Well, there's games coming out. Well, one came out today, day of recording, and then in a week will be the next one, which is a game. Next one is stalling as I go towards the thing where it has them. It's loading. Yes. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, they will be next week. Okay, the only thing that really matters if I tell what the games are, because it'll just be talking about them for people, who might be interested in finding some shooters. They're mostly just like sort of very, very brief analysis videos, but mostly to be like, these are games you should check out if you haven't seen them, if you haven't played them. So today was Bulletstorm, and then there's going to be BPM Bullets Per Minute, and Doom, 2016 one, Painkiller, Darkness 2, then Superhot, then Severed Steel, then Half-Life 2. We're just going to be looking at each of those.
That's
so yeah,
interesting. I mean, yes, that's awesome. Yes, woo! Can't wait. Yes, please.
I'm just tired now. I'm like, God.
You've been through a lot.
Yeah, I've now been playing. I've been playing both 2 games at once. I've been playing Deus Ex: Mankind Divided and Deltarune. Deltarune Chapter 2 came out, but Chapter 1 came out in like 2019 or something. So I've been replaying that first. It's if you don't know what Deltarune is, it's the follow-up to Undertale. So more Undertale. And then Deus Ex, which I've only played like 5 hours so far, which for most games, you'd probably be able to be like, yes,
finished it.
I've played 5 hours. I can tell you a lot
I
about
played
it.
5 hours.
This one I'm like, yeah.
I finished the game and the new game plus.
Pretty much, yeah. This one I'm like, yeah, I'm 5 hours in. I'm still in the first area. I'm in Prague, which I think is your hub world, but I haven't gone anywhere else. And I haven't really done any like big missions. But any games like this, I'm one of those people that's like, I'm in a city. I must walk into every single shop and talk to everyone before I start any missions. So, yeah, I haven't really done much.
Yeah,
there.
like I said, I was before this, I was actually playing The Witcher, and I've set about. I haven't even I'm in Velen, and I haven't done anything main story wise. I've spoke to the Baron, and he's given me his little bit, but I haven't done much because I go into a place, I see a notice board, I grab the notice board, and I set out trying to clear the map. And obviously there's some places that are a little bit too high for me to do.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, look, a question mark. I rush to it, and there's a hag. And she hits me, and I'm down. I was like,
God.
okay, everybody knows which hag I'm talking about. It's on the little penis of the country. Everybody knows it. And yeah, I mean, there's been several times that I've just run into a Cyclops. Just like, oh, hello, pat, dead. And I'm literally just going through the world, trying to get all the question marks. Even if I don't actually get what the question marks are showing or advertising, I still like to make them non-question marks so I know what kind of thing I have to deal with when I go back. And I understand the tedious nature of having so many things to do. And you know, I look at it and I look at open world games, and I kind of get a bit annoyed by open world games, just because of like, there's a difference between having a cool RPG that's open world and just having an RPG that just gives you unnecessary shit that clogs up your map. And one thing I find pretty annoying is that at least in the Witcher, and obviously Assassin's Creed, which is a very big committer of this crime, the filters don't stick. So if I go into my map and I filter out all the crap, and I leave and I come back, it's reset to showing me all the crap again, which means I need to go through the filters to see what I'm supposed to be looking for. And it's just a minor gripe, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a big thing to me too, because I kind of, when it comes to games like that, I have like a compulsion to finish everything. So
yeah,
I had to explore every single place and make all of the, because like once you do one of those little question mark things, they go like more translucent.
They go grey.
Yeah, they go grey. Yeah, it's been a while. And then you're like, okay, cool. That means it's done. And then I would have to do that with everything. Like that's the way I have to do it.
Or
so
the worst,
it was fucking
is
tiring.
you do something, you go all the way around, and you come back to do a little bit harder. Then when you want to go back to the other areas, you see, oh, you've run past all the way down there, and there's a little exclamation mark. It wasn't there before when you came down, but now it is. Now you've got to run. I either run, or because I love the way they built the world, I run everywhere. I don't like to use fast travel as much because I think the way they built that world is fucking amazing and beautiful. And you can have some really beautiful moments in it. And you can also miss out because sometimes it's like a chest with like a legendary item in it, but you wouldn't have known that the legendary item's there if you didn't run the world. So I do that a lot, and I hate having to go back and then, or like all of a sudden now a town's notice board has got more notices on it. And you're like, son of a bitch, I just cleared that area.
I know. No, I know the feeling. It's also great when you do that thing where you find like there's some creature that kicks your ass, and then you go fuck off for like 10 hours and you come back and you just demolish it.
Yeah.
And you're like...
That's satisfying. Another game I actually ended up playing a little bit, because I wanted a game that was low effort so that I could watch a movie, like, so my computer could mine. I could watch a movie and I could still keep my hands busy with playing a game. So I installed Prototype again. Oh boy.
God,
Oh boy. First of all, it doesn't. You have to actually download a mod to boost the resolution cap on it because it apparently the game
really?
crashes if you don't have the native resolution on. So yeah, so if you decide to use just any resolution, the game will crash. Also, the game is designed with 4 cores, and just to note that this isn't the time where Activision was actually really creative with their game choices. Like, I still like the fact that you can jump over, like when you're sprinting, he does parkour over cars and stuff, which I thought, back then was cool. And even to this day, you hardly ever get that. I mean, without having to prompt space and stuff, it's not just automatic. And, it coming from Activision is like, wow. But it only runs in 4 cores, so I actually had to manually go in and set my computer to only work with 4 cores so that I could play the game. And then I remember playing it on normal and having such a hard time in the start, having to grind for what they call EP, but experience, but they couldn't put an X there, but anyway. To grind for EP to purchase your upgrades. And I remember it being long before I had all the main ones to actually play the game safely. And then I went in and I realized once you finish the intro, you immediately get the ability to get a lot of the stuff that wasn't there. Like, you can get your shield at the very beginning. You can get your some basic movement enhancements like sprinting and jumping, health enhancements, and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well then obviously the main catch to that is no, you need EP, and in order to get EP, you need to do missions and side missions and stuff like that. But I figured, okay, that's fine. Then you go and you find, there's collectibles. There's only 2 of them that I know of. It's the notes, which doesn't really give you much. But the most important collectible is the landmarks. Because they made the whole Manhattan City, so you have to travel through the whole Manhattan City. And they wanted to show it off, so they put landmarks everywhere. 240 landmarks, I think. It's somewhere around there that you have to now go across the city and find in every nook and cranny. Right? I found 70 of them just from running around the city, and I immediately had because of the way, like, if you get 10 landmarks you get an extra bit of experience. I got like 70, and I already had enough EP to buy all the upgrades before I even started the first main mission. And I was like, okay, that's fucking broken. And then I realized that when I finished the mission, I got EP from it, and then I just went to Times Square, and there's all over Times Square, there's at least like 40 of them. And then I basically bought the fists and everything. I'm like, I struggled playing this game, did all the little side quests, the shitty things where you must jump on buildings or you must glide down into the middle of a point. And I tried my, like, they said some pretty tough golden times, but fine. I did all of that. I'm like, but all you necessarily need to do is run around the city and find these landmarks. And I was like, they're fucking lucky that this game still came out in a time where you couldn't just readily just go find a map with all the landmarks on it. Otherwise, there would be no point to doing anything other than the main quest in the game, because if you find all the landmarks, you would have more EP than you need to buy anything in the game. And I was like, okay, well, that's fucking broken. I still had a good time. I'm one of those few people that didn't have a problem with Prototype or Prototype 2 because, it was a fun game and I could mutate and destroy shit, so I was happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I played Prototype ages ago, but it kind of irritated me more than anything else. I think also because I had a problem with the massive, the wankery name for it is ludonarrative dissonance, but you don't often see it that often. It's basically where the story and the gameplay don't really match up. And I remember playing this and just being like, my guy is a straight up monster. He's like, I just kill people everywhere, and then it goes into the story cutscenes, and it's all like, oh, I'm just like this misunderstood man who just, I'm not actually a bad guy. I've been wronged by others. And then as soon as I go out, I like eat a civilian.
No, you see, that's your problem. When I played Prototype, it was kill, go into the golden circle, something played, press space to skip, and then kill, go to the next area, kill. I only play Prototype to kill things, and to be a person that is literally converting the whole of Manhattan into just this infected city. I love that. I don't pay attention to the story because he's too broody for me. And
he's very broody.
I don't like the pop collar, so whenever I'm in a cutscene, I see the popped collar, I'm like, what a douche. Like, why do you have a shirt with a pop collar, a hoodie, and a leather jacket on you? I mean, Jesus, man. So yeah, I played it twice now. Once when I first got it, and then this second time around, just to satisfy the urge to kill. Because a lot of games offer that power fantasy, but you have to work up to get it, which is a little bit more rewarding. I get it, but they give you such a brief moment to actually revel in it when you have reached that point or gotten that piece of gear that makes you unstoppable. I mean, one of my first actual major power fantasy experiences that were like that was actually Warcraft Frozen Throne, or Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, where you would play as there's that Orc campaign, which is actually just the Rexar campaign, and
yes,
you play it and play it and play it, and then there's a point where you get a banner, or I forgot what a standard. Sorry, the Horde standard.
Yes, standard.
And that thing buffs you out so much that when you do any of the missions after that, it's just you just go right through them. And that was like a nice bit of power fantasy build up. Obviously, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning also had a really good power fantasy once you get near the end, and you're just this unstoppable force. I love that. But with Prototype, it's a game I don't have to think about because all my audio is muted because I'm listening or watching a movie, and I'm just killing things. I'm going from point A to point B, killing things. I'm not actually playing it for the story. And I think that works for me quite well.
I think it probably works better because the story's shit.
No, it really is. But, I think this thing came out like in 2009, so I'm not too, like, and it's Activision, so I'm not too, like, when last have you heard of an Activision game that had a good story? Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But yeah.
Yeah, no,
that's me.
I'm pretty much my plans are I'm like Deus Ex, fuck however fucking long that thing takes. Deltarune, that'll be shorter. And then I'll probably be like, okay, I have to play this queer game, that'll be fun. I have to play this one where I'm a little mouse, that'll be cute. This one with a dog. See, I'm very, and some stealth game with an angry looking shadow man. So that's my plans. Very fun.
Oh yeah, no, it sounds riveting.
Thank you.
Oh
fuck
my
you.
gosh.
I'm very much like, no, I need to finish a game and then move on to the next one, and then okay, cool, now I have an order. But now that I'm not doing any more of those fucking shooters, I get to just be like, I'm just going to play games for enjoyment, which is a ridiculous concept. But yeah. But I think that's pretty much it, unless you have anything else you have clunking around in your clunker.
Nope. My clunker has been thoroughly emptied on this glorious day.
A glorious day in Kazakhstan.
Why Kazakhstan? Seriously, why?
Because Borat, which is glorious adventures or explorations for the great Kazakhstan.
I only watched that movie once,
No, literally the only reason is because I was telling someone about it the other day, and I had to look it up, and then realized how fucking ridiculous the name, the actual title is. So,
yeah.
Fuck, I always get a fright when I see this thing. There's a thing at the bottom of Audacity that says disk space remaining for recording, like how much space you can still record. And I always get a fright because I always think for some reason the first number is minutes, but it's not, it's hours. So I don't have much space left on my hard drive, but it says I can still record for 30.
Actually, wait.
32 hours.
Okay, I got 39, so we're kind of close. But yes, shall we wrap up then?
Yes, I think we can wrap up. Unless you want to still talk for 32
hours.
No,
I'm good. I'm good. We can wrap up. I've got things to hunt.
Well then I think that's everything. Yeah, do you have anything to plug, or are you just continuing to plod away on existence?
I'm plodding away on my non-existence.
Nice, sounds fun. There will be videos from me coming out every week until the end of November. So, if you don't know those games, you can check them out. They'll show you a bit of the game and tell you a bit about it, and maybe you'll like it. It's pretty much like a list of recommendations, really. But yeah, that's about it for now. So, fare thee well to all the good people that exist and the bad people. Maybe don't fare thee well. You're a bad person. Fuck you. I think then that's it.
Yeah, sure. No, that's great. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you very much for listening if you're still here. If you're not here, thank you for actually just giving us that little view, please. Thank you. If you have any suggestions, would like a shout out, please comment down below. And yeah, let us know your thoughts. If you think, especially if you guys think that we are shit, please let us know down below, because you know we got to keep our egos intact. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't have an ego.
Just say anything, please. Just anything.
I don't.
I'm so alone out here.
Don't worry, Tristan. You're not alone. You always have me.
I'm so alone out here.
Well then, ta-ta everybody.
Goodbye.
Have a fun old time. And as per usual, I love you.